you look like a very happy baby.
Forget about planks.
Just do a little more press-ups.
But that's the word that's on the tip of my lip, the tip of my tongue.
The tip of your lip.
If you can do it for 3 minutes, it's too bloody easy. Yo, what's going on, guys? Rhys here for More Than Lifting. This is More Than Lifting podcast with myself and good friend ChristopherThatcher.com. Do you want to say hi, mate?
Hello.
Hello. Today we're talking about stuff, particularly isometric stuff. The podcast's all about bodyweight training, calisthenics, gymnastics, all that fun stuff. We do talk about a little bit of weight training just because Chris won't leave it alone. Today we're talking about beginner.
Itch.
It's a bad itch, yeah. It keeps creeping up on me and poking me in naughty places. Bloody hell, where do I get this from? Anyway,
I just meant it needs to be scratched consistently. I can't ever walk away from weight training. It's never gonna. Well, never say never, but I can't ever see it happening in my lifetime.
You don't have to, mate. Do you know what I mean? You don't have to walk away. No one's sitting here judging you for it except me, and who cares about that?
Yeah, exactly.
And to be honest with you,
what's your bench though, bro? What's your bench?
I don't know.
Neither do I, actually, because I don't bench press. But anyway,
that's
a conversation.
Fitness creep people. I almost say creeps. Oh my god! Right, guys.
It's happened.
So yeah. Today, bloody hell, I've been trying to say this for ages. Today we're talking about beginner isometric exercises, what isometrics are, how you can use them in your training, what kind of benefits they have. And, well, we'll probably talk about two of those things, have a ramble, and then fuck the rest off. So this might be part one.
Oh, dear.
Man.
That's a perfect template for a show. Introduction, tell them what we're going to do, bit of a ramble, fuck the rest off, outro, done.
See you next week.
Oh, fantastic. Oh, brilliant.
So, yeah. So, have you been all right, mate?
Yeah, I'm really good, mate. I'm really good. How about yourself?
I feel like the last couple of episodes we've just gone straight in there, got to the point, smashed it out, and not had a good gas for a bit. So I think we've got a little buffer.
Yeah, I guess so. I think we actually talk a lot when you think about it these days because we're talking every week consistently now. So there's not much of a surprise anymore. Oh, what are you doing? Oh, same old. Oh, yeah, me too. Okay, great. And then, we kind of just get into it. But yeah,
no, we just talk before we start recording. That's the problem. We should just hit record as soon as the call starts, and then just see what happens.
Yeah, and then we'd probably save ourselves a lot of time as well.
Yeah, probably like 40 minutes per episode.
Yeah, but also potentially lose more audience members. So
yeah, so sorry about that, guys. We'll get into it in a second. I've had this idea, right, because I've been thinking about what I've been actually doing for my training, and although we do speak about it quite a lot, I've been doing some really crazy things in my quest to get focused and get some serious progressions under my belt for the competition. So what I was thinking of doing was doing a week worth of programming, just video everything that I do in a week. And I thought that'd be quite fun. So
yeah, very cool.
Yeah, so for the next episode, I'll pop it in the show notes, but I'm basically going to put up like a week's worth of training. So you guys can see, because we were talking about it before, and I kind of had this little idea the other day to do it, and this is the first time we've actually had a chance to speak about it. But I think it would be quite insightful for a lot of you, and you as well, Chris, because you said you were quite interested in it too, like how I'm going about prepping for the competition and stuff like that, and it'll give you a bit of insight in how you could apply that to your training, particularly with these weird little tools we use like rings and a pull-up bar.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah, and that actually is quite relevant to what we're talking about today, because isometrics are a big part of the gymnastics training that I'm doing. And what isometrics are, for those who don't know, are just hold exercises or hold movements, I call them, because it's a bit more fun. So it's when you're just holding your body in position, something like an L-sit or an L-sit or something like that. Planche and levers are also good examples of very advanced, obviously, but isometric exercises nonetheless.
Sounds good to me. Should we get into it?
Yeah, Chris. I feel like it's your turn to talk, mate. So
no, that's right, mate. This is far more your area of expertise. I'll just interject my my little knowledge bombs wherever I feel they're appropriate.
Okay, cool. So when we talk about isometric exercises, most people kind of already do some form of isometric from their gym training or whatever, which is what we have spoke about on isometrics before, isn't it, Chris? We were saying like at the top of your rep, you generally hold the weight for a split second or a second or two before returning to the starting position. So to an extent, a lot of the time it's integrated into your training anyway. You probably are already doing it, but there are specific skills and stuff you can use that are quote-unquote isometric exercises that you can do away from rep-based movements. So things like crow stands and planche lean. The planche lean are quite unusual ones, but quite often seen in things like yoga. And you've obviously got the fucking obvious one, a plank. A plank is an isometric exercise. You're just holding that position for time. And so that's the lowdown. They are a couple of isometric exercises. We'll see you next week. Chris, have a good one, mate. And yeah, that's it really. They're a good. That in itself is a handful of really good isometric exercises for you to try at home. One of the best things about isometric exercises is that you tend to be able to do them anywhere. Like aside from specific ones, like a hang-in L, where you need something to hang off, most of it's done on the floor, usually supported on your hands. When it comes to these particular advanced, dedicated isometric exercises that I'm talking about, sorry, not advanced, but dedicated.
Yes.
And sorry, I feel like I'm just talking a lot, and I haven't heard your voice, Chris. So I just wanted some kind of response.
That's right, mate. This is an education of sorts for me as well. So I'm just quite enjoying it. So feel free to crack on.
Okay. So what else?
I'm here though, mate. Don't worry. I'm with you.
So we'll start with the plank. Everyone knows a plank. Everyone tries doing planks. Everyone can do a plank. It's actually really easy. But most people do a plank on their elbows. I actually encourage people to do it both on your elbows and on your hands, like in the top of a presser position. And I do this really because it adds a different dynamic to the basic kind of plank exercise, makes it a bit different. But it also allows you to kind of get your body in a relatively hollow position with your shoulders fully protracted. That's pushing forwards, isn't it? And yeah. So that is really good just to start off with. And what I'd say is not to get caught up on doing it for extended periods of time. Like, don't think, oh yeah, I can do a 3-minute plank. Like, fuck that. Don't worry about 3 minutes. That's far too long. Aim for like 30 seconds. Once you can do 30 seconds or something, make it harder. If you can do it for 3 minutes, it's too bloody easy. So that's a good point to start then progressing onto harder exercises.
Yeah, that's probably a good sign, isn't it? You need to move on.
Yeah. You're like, you might as well be jogging at this point or doing Zumba.
Oh, I don't know. That's a stretch.
Yeah. Zumba involves a lot of movement, though. Not very many isometrics.
That is true. And it also involves a lot of dancing around to salsa music, which is an acquired taste.
Yeah. I'd prefer to do it with like a partner, to be honest with you, rather than just gallivanting around by myself.
I wholeheartedly agree. You could do quite a lot of good isometric work with a partner as well, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could. Like, what's everyone into on Instagram right now? The like acrobatic yoga.
Acro yoga.
Yeah, like that kind of stuff. That's pretty good if you're on the bottom. If you're on the top, then you're probably a girl. And that's all right as well. Add me on Snapchat.
Oh, dear. But yeah. I think you forgot to say that in the last episode, which is probably the first one of many. So, yeah, maybe I'll let you have 2 of those today.
No, if you are like if you're doing it, that's great. It's actually a really good way to do isometric training and also get your missus involved or your girlfriend. It's quite fun. If she's into yoga, like she'd probably be well up for it, not just sitting on your feet for a while or something. But it's another form of isometric exercise that you could quite easily be doing. So don't neglect it just because we're having a little joke.
Yeah, definitely. It's something worthwhile looking into for sure.
Yeah, I'd actually quite enjoy doing it. I might pitch some people on it. My mate Nick.
Oh. I see the pole dancer.
No, that's Ben. Oh yeah, that's Ben. He'd be sick. He'd be doing like one arm elbow levers on my feet and stuff. Oh, that'd actually be really cool. Ben, if you're listening, mate, come round. Let's do some acro. Yeah. So after you've kind of after you've got into basic plank stuff, you want to move on as quickly as possible into more advanced isometrics. Okay, and you're probably already trying to do something like a handstand if you're not already, and that's a great one just to do for time. It's a really good example of just an isometric exercise. It's really technical. There's loads of stuff you can do with a handstand as well, so definitely learn one, even if you're not obsessed with isometrics, just as a side note. But to move on, you really want to be looking towards some yoga kind of exercises because they do loads of they call them all inversions, don't they? But it's basically like hand balances and different weird and wonderful, very exotic positions often, and they're really good as well. The first one that comes to mind is obviously the crow stand, which is like which you're basically balancing on your hands with your knees on your elbows, so you're like almost tucked up in a little ball, kind of balancing on your elbows, being supported by your hands. That's a really good isometric exercise to get you into the kind of towards like planche work. I'm a bit hesitant to say it just because it's not a direct progression for a planche, but it is a great way to start progressing towards it if that's what you're interested in. Also, it's a good one to work towards things like handstand presses and 90-degree push-ups as well, which are very advanced. But
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Crow stand is a very diverse exercise. In fact, you could do one-legged crow stands. You could do like reps between the two. Like the crow stand is a great exercise. I did a challenge in October last year, which was just a 7-day like crow stand challenge, different variations. And like, if you go on my Instagram page, just scroll down a little bit, and you'll see a load of crazy ones. And then go on any yoga thing on Instagram, find the crow stand. I'm still talking about the crow stand. You should definitely try them. Yeah, crow stand's good.
Definitely. They're great fun as well. Like it's one of the closest things to sort of being a kid. You know, it's the sort of thing you would do when you're a child, and that's what I think is so much fun about calisthenics and bodyweight stuff. You can really play around with it, and it becomes entertainment and a challenge rather than just something that you have to do as a matter of course. It's not just counting reps.
It becomes like...
It's about... Go on.
No, carry on, mate. You were just saying exactly what I was going to.
Well, no, I was just going to say, it because of it being a skill development thing, it's something that you can noticeably get better at. So there's a real kind of reward in the sense of fulfillment that you feel by actually doing it. And, you know, you end up, you know, especially with crow stands, you know, you end up sort of rolling around on the floor a bit and dropping down. And yeah, you can get frustrated, but then you get back up again and, you know, have another go. And it's as close to being an infant, you know, it's as close to being a child again, you know, learning to walk for the first time as you're ever going to get in adult life. It's an amazing thing. And I think it really helps us to reconnect. You know, there's talking about yoga before, there's a pose called Happy Baby. Have you ever seen that?
No, what's that one?
So it's when you lay on your back with your feet basically in the air with your knees slightly bent, and then you just hold your feet. You know, so your hands come inside your leg, and you just hold your feet, and then you can try. And what's nice about that is it can be a nice way of stretching out your lower back and your hamstrings, because if you try and straighten your legs while you're holding onto your feet, you get a really nice stretch all the way through the lower back and all through the back of the legs as well. But if you actually just sit there and just sort of rock around a little bit, holding your feet, you look like a very happy baby, you know, and it's amazing. Like on some primal level, that can really kick off a nice sort of sensation in your mind. It can make you feel quite good in your body.
It makes you smile. It makes you kind of laugh about it and have a bit of fun.
Exactly. Like they say, you can't be angry or fearful when you're grateful. You definitely can't be angry or fearful when you're doing the happy baby pose. And
Yeah.
same can be said of some of the calisthenics and isometrics based stuff. You know, when you're doing that stuff, it's almost a bit like meditation. You're so lost in the enjoyment of the actual process and the activity itself that you're not thinking or worrying about anything else.
Yeah, and it is really good fun. One of the other benefits of isometrics is you basically just do them everywhere. It doesn't matter where you are. You don't need any equipment. You're just putting yourself in weird positions and trying to hold it. And when you get good at holding it, you then try and start moving in, out, and around those positions. So it doesn't just stop at learning an exercise. Like, all we've really talked about is the crow stand. But that's just one exercise. There are loads of variations you can do, ways to turn it into reps, ways to do movement transitions between other exercises, and all kinds of crazy stuff. Each one that you learn will unlock another little variation, another little skill you can do. So forget about planks. Do something that will challenge you in a better way and will get you better results. Because it will improve and it will actively, I hate to say attack, but that's the word that's on the tip of my lip, the tip of my tongue.
The tip of your lip.
It'll target different areas of weakness because you're forcing yourself into different positions rather than just keeping your body straight, like a neutral spine position, which is great and it is necessary, but it's not always relevant to exercise as much as is suggested.
Yeah, very true. I think something, again, it's a point I bang on about quite a lot, but like you said about not doing, do you say not do the plank or try something different to the plank? Was that the point you made?
The point was to get past it, because everyone gets stuck on plank. You go on like YouTube, you got like HIIT workouts that involve doing the plank, and like that's not really high intensity, and people do it for extended periods of time, and I just think do flutter kicks.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on that. The old how long can you hold a plank for as a marker of some degree of strength or fitness is always laughable. Like if you're doing it for a fun challenge, I've done those in the past in gyms and teams that I've worked in the past, because it was just kind of banter. It was like, okay, on this date we're going to do the pull-up challenge, so you have to do as many pull-ups as you can, and everyone trains to do as many pull-ups as they can. Equally, press-ups, plank's another good one of that. Then you can obviously have some other different things you test as well, and you do it, for that sort of level of fun. But as part of your regular workout, as part of your regular movement practice, it's pretty tedious. There's no in
terms of progression
once
as
you can
well.
Hold that,
yeah.
I mean, look, you can make the actual. You can make it more entertaining by making it more dynamic. One of the things I've really enjoyed with clients in the past is, taking them from a plank position, an elbow-based plank position, up to you get them to walk up to a straight arm position, so walking up onto their hands. So there's a lot of shoulder, tricep recruitment. Then making them turn out into like a T-plank position, so they're rotated out with one hand up towards the air, so all the pressure is now on one arm, and they're rotated through to the side. Then they switch to the other side, and then they walk back down to their hands, and then maybe they can do some tap outs. So they extend one arm out in front of them and then bring it back and then tap the other side out and do a few of those to keep it more dynamic. So again, it changes the nature of the stability. Then it's not just holding a fixed position, it's holding that position while your extremities are moving. Then you can do tap outs with the feet, move up to a side plank and do some rotations. So you can have loads of fun with it. You can really mix it up and incorporate different aspects to challenge you. But as you say, that there comes a point where, once you've done that a few times, there's not much of a skill development aspect to it. It's just about tiring yourself out.
Yeah.
And the return and the enjoyment you're going to get from progressing up to something like a crow stand is going to be far more fulfilling and far more enjoyable in the short and long term than just doing as many variations of a plank as you can.
Yeah, definitely.
Anti-plank.
The anti-plank, well, like a front bridge. Yeah. Oh, no, that would be like inverted plank, wouldn't it?
Yeah, and look, at the end of the day, if you want to do a plank, if you want to do some sort of core exercise or core stability thing like the plank, just do a little more press-ups.
Yeah, do flutter kicks, man. That's it.
When people say, sometimes people ask, what's a good plank variation? Press-ups.
Yeah, I was going to say that earlier when you were talking about it, but it held my tongue.
It's great, it's like, I need to do something for my core, press-ups. But yeah, we won't get into the core argument again because I think we've done that one previously, and we'll probably do it again, but not today.
Yeah, not today. Out
Not
the window,
today,
Buzz.
Sonny.
You're a genius. So yeah, throw planks out the window and start doing something a bit more fun. There are other isometric exercises you can do as well, believe it or not. I did say about the planche lean earlier, and that's like an advanced plank in a way. It's where it's like bridging the plank and the planche. And so you're essentially in a presser position, and then with your tippy toes, you like slide forward, lean forward, and kind of tiptoe forward a little bit, keeping your whole body straight, obviously, and just seeing how far past your hands you can get your head.
Very nice.
The 100% mark go so far that you kind of counterbalance yourself and tip up into a planche, but the likelihood is you won't get there your first go. But it's a great way of developing things like locked arm strength, stability in your shoulders, and activation of the muscles correctly. So your chest, your biceps, your triceps, your wrists, like everything together to enable development for things like handstand presses, obviously your planche, again your 90-degree push-ups and your elbow levers. It's going to provide a much better return than planks still. And what I would recommend, though, if you're doing that, is to use a cushion, because you might fall on your face.
Yeah, I was actually going to say that's the one thing we haven't mentioned here is actually to put some soft landing attire in front of you, just to
Soft landing attire.
Yeah, if nothing else, just to alleviate the fear of it, because sometimes you can really limit your development by being too afraid to lean into the movement and actually apply the right pressure and the right angles and really find that best position for you, because you think, if I go any further, I'm going to tilt forward and land on my face. You might, but at least remove the fear of it happening and really
film
actually genuinely hurting you.
Film it and DM us.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, film it, exactly. Get that sort of visual feedback. It's so important. But,
no, I meant the fail.
Film the fail. Okay, I thought you meant the actual stand. No, film the whole thing, and then you get the feedback and you get the fail.
And send us the fail.
Yes,
we want
definitely
your calisthenics fails.
Yes. We should probably share more of ours, though, shouldn't we?
Yeah, probably. Well, I'm sure I'll have a couple after my week training video. So I'll share some for the next podcast as well.
I look forward to it. So anyway, what more have we got to go? Because I'm conscious we overran in our last episode. We weren't very true to our 30-minute rule. So what are you feeling today? Anything more to discuss?
Well, we don't owe ourselves less time this episode, if that's what you're saying, Chris.
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I'm keeping us honest. We're about 23 minutes in so far. It takes
about 10 minutes to do the outro as well, doesn't it? So you've got a point.
Exactly. So I'm just trying to keep us on track.
No worries, mate. No worries, guys. If you want more about beginner isometric exercises, I've got a whole article about it. It's really cool. It's morethanlifting.com/beginner isometric exercises with hyphens instead of spaces. I'll do a better version of that. Go to morethanlifting.com/beginner isometrics, all one word.
Sounds good.
And that will take you to that page. And then you can learn some other ones, because that we only really spoke about 3, and there are loads of isometric exercises. Any position you can think that you hold yourself in that hurts or that is difficult, that's a new isometric exercise. You practice that and you'll get better at doing that with no hands. One hand.
I'm just trying to think how that could be massively misinterpreted. Any position you can hold yourself in that hurts is an isometric exercise. I don't know. I've got we don't send those answers on a postcard.
No, but if you come up with anything particularly exotic, then add me on Snapchat.
Indeed. So anyway, outro time?
Yeah, cool. Rock, paper, scissors for the finish. After 3, 4. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Lamp.
Scissors. Lamp. Oh, you've wild-carded it. Well, I can win this one because scissor can cut lamp's power cord, and therefore lamp has no power or sway or influence in the world whatsoever.
You're right. Yeah, you're right. I couldn't really do anything to you as a lamp.
You could hit me, but if I'm a solid pair of
You'd
metal
be laughing,
scissors,
impervious to the pain.
Exactly. And you'd probably smash yourself to pieces before I even put a scratch in me. So, yes, right. I'll take it. A win.
Chris's outro.
A rare
Chris,
win.
You're clawing back 1 point.
There we go. I'll take it. They all count.
They do.
It's a marathon, not a sprint, mate. Anyway, so if you like what we heard today, head on over to iTunes to subscribe, rate, review, help other people find the show. It's good karma for you, and it helps us out a little bit as well. Shows us that we're actually doing something you like, because that's always nice to know. If you want to connect with us, you can head on over to morethanlifting.com, check out all of Rhys's articles and amazing content over there. Equally, try and find us on social media as More Than Lifting or Coach Thatch on pretty much every platform. Some we are more present in than others, but most not enough anywhere near at all as much as we should be. But you can always message us through those channels. We are
Naughty
indeed,
boys.
we are bad social marketers. But anyway, yeah, so connect with us, check us out on those platforms, send us a message. If you fancy coming on the show, if you have a good question to ask, if you want to give us any feedback, we'll quite happily take that. We're always more than happy just to hear from anyone that has taken the time, energy, and attention to listen to what we have to say. So thank you very much for that, because as far as pretty much any show out there goes, we're only as good as our audience. So thank you guys, and do keep in touch with us as and when you possibly can.
Yeah. But yeah, you smashed it. And I think it only took a minute. Chris has been exploding all over this podcast today.
Yeah, I saved my best till last. I was like, I started strong, dipped off in the middle, but I finished as powerfully as I could.
Finished us off good, yeah. Finished us off proper.
So anyway, that's me done for the day. You all good?
Yeah, I don't really have anything to add to that, mate. We were all over it. Yeah, so catch you in the next one, guys. I'm not going to tell you what it's about, but
we don't
see you then
know
for sure.
Yet.
Yeah, we don't know yet. It's a surprise to us.
Keeps it interesting. Anyway, cool. Good one, mate. Speak to you soon.
All right, catch you later, guys. Bye-bye.